Hi and welcome to Down the Shed. So this is going to be a video demonstrating the construction of the rings for the Guangzhou tower. Yeah, so I've taken the acrylic off one side of this one. I peeled the acrylic off both sides of this one, and it really wasn't good for the camera. I don't think it was too clear, so I've decided for the I'm trying to look at the screen and get these level. For the purposes of the camera work, I went to dust it over with some white paint, and the can literally ran out on the first part, so it's not too bad. Pick up the holes. This one's better, obviously, so we'll get some zoom in on that. Now what we're going to do is quite literally take all the bits out of the bag, and we really haven't got many spare LEDs, so we've got to hope that they're all good. Put the board over there. That's a different project. So basically what we're going to do is bend one leg of the LED and then place it in the board. So the placing, well, we'll go with that centre one. It's quite simply, you stick the LED in like so, so it pokes through like that, and then that will basically give you your point of soldering. So let's crack on, and I'll just have a quick peek to see which the first layer is, and then we'll do layer one. Okay, so I've started off, we've bent the positive or the longer pin of the LED to a 90-degree angle, and we want to start with the board with the cut off edges, the larger one. So yeah, the bigger template. So you ring one, start off on this outer edge, and basically on the end of each one of these, so just slot one in like that, and then you want to go around each of the rings like so on top of it. I can actually use a bit of light here. So that one I've got on top of that one. There we go. I wouldn't solder them together until you got them all in. And these are really fiddly. But yeah, I like to try and get them as short and neat as possible. So something like that is awesome. You could solder that, I suppose. So that's what we want to do all the way around. I have pre-tested the ones that I've already bent. So again, slot and drop, but now you can see you might want to start cutting them a wee bit shorter, because that's actually going over both of those LEDs. So we'll take a little end of this. There we go. So that's pretty much perfect, but we will start soldering them. I'll zoom this in a bit. Right, so I'm not going to solder the first one, which is still full length. I'm going to leave that loose, so it makes it easier to finish the ring off. So we'll just put a bit of solder on the iron. So very gently we're going to try and just rest on. Yeah, you see that it moves a bit, so we're going to just try and capture the end of that, like so. This one's starting to pop out. As I said, these aren't easy. Not fiddly. Right, so we'll get that one straightened back up to there. We'll get that one back over there. Right, all we've got to do is lift that out. There we go. Put that one over the top. And slide it down. So that's the makings of our first ring. We've got, I just want to zoom up that. we've got the makings of our first ring. This one's still loose, so we can do the final one. So that's nicely soldered to there. That's nicely soldered to there. We can touch these up later if we want to, but I'm quite happy with that so far. So we should be able to put a little voltage through these individually and power them up. Where's my light? So I'm going to turn this light out for a moment. We should be able to put the multimeter into continuity, and by going, oh shut up Tony, and by going through the negative of each one, just put the positive rail on there, you can see them all power up. So we know we're good. There we go. So we'll basically carry on around the board. I have got some shorter leg ones here, so I want to see how they tie in with this distance, because I might end up being short here, or having to use the longer ones on these outer rings, and then use these shorter ones on the inner rings. I'll get away with that. Oh no, they're perfect. They're cut to blooming spot on length. They're the ones that I bought in because I used some of these LEDs in a different project. So that's soldered into place. So now I'm going to carry on with these shorter ones if possible. Just pop that one over there. You can literally bring all this together. Oh, that's nice. And there we go. So that's the rest of the, oh, not the rest, that's the next one. So another, actually I'm going to cut this long one roughly to the length of that short one. The only thing is these longer ones will have a longer negative as well compared to the shorter ones. So you might need to shorten the distance between the towers to make up for that. So I'll carry on with the rest of this ring. I'm just going to tin a bit of that at the start, see if that makes it any easier. Just like that. So if we check those, put the positive rail on anywhere, just go off the negative. Lovely. Lovely boy. There you go, as well as the build guide. I'll put the build guide at the end of the video with the constructions of these. But it's nice just for keeping the nip out up here. So again, just cutting these longer ones short. Sounds like that bottle might be on its way out actually. It's about £2 a bottle. There we go. Right, so we'll just carry on. We'll just tin these up first, bring the part in, introduce the rest of the solder, and jobs are good in. So I should have enough here that I've pre-tested and bent in advance. So it's just a case of fitting and snipping and soldering. So I might put some music in the background on this one. I might put the intro music in and just leave it playing. It could become the Down the Shed theme. I'll have to give it a new name though. Actually, we'll call it Down the Shed theme, because its actual name I'm surprised they can get away with, but we won't go there. It's just a good little tune for my intros and outros, and I like it. See if we can just get away with a blob there to start with. Nah. Right, this will be the last one of the ring going in. So what we need to do is snip it off. Oh, that one good. Get back. Put some fresh solder in there. Get some fresh. Ooh, go back. Get some fresh flux in it. I've got no control over this. Bloody telly's off. There we go. Now it is off. Right, so what we have to do now is, where's it gone? There it is. Get this one fed. Now you just keep hitting wires. Get this one fed up here. And again, we're going to want to cut it short, so we'll cut it there for the start. Right, now we can place it. No, I do actually, we won't cut it. Just place it on there like that. And that's in. So now we can take the first one we put in, or whichever one. Ooh, right, so that's already getting a negative up there, so we'll cut it there. Shorten it down a bit, bunch it over, and we'll be able to solder that one in. Not a problem, just there. Okay, so that's our first ring. So what we want to do now is just finish testing it off. And then we'll get rid of that light. Remembering that the positive is the main one, so we just there we go. Oh, missed one. So as you can see, all the LEDs in the first ring light up. So let's take the ring out. Let's just put the ring back in. Let's just try and straighten some of these out. Oh well, the ring's out. So there we are, that's our first ring of LEDs. So that's all the negatives. Positives are soldered into one ring. So, yep, that's the first layer Guangzhou tower. That one just wants bending. There we go. You can perfect them later. A pair of tweezers or something, just bend them once they're all soldered in. So we'll put that to one side. Probably put a little tag with it or something saying layer 1 or template number 1, and we'll crack on with template number 2. Okay, so again we're going to be doing the same. So we've got the first and the second one on the board. The second one and the first one aren't connected. The third one's on the board, that is connected to the second. So we'll carry on around the board. I've tested and pre-bent all these in advance. That's the long leg or the positive that you're bending over and cutting. I'm cutting these shorter on these outer ones, so that'll be fine there like that. So we'll just bring the soldering iron, give it a flick, bring the soldering iron and soldering, and just try and heat the two. Like so, and again ditto, ditto, ditto. So measure number 2, bit of snip, take it a bit at a time. Remember, you can always take more off, but you can't put it, well, you can put it back on, but it's a pain in the arse. There we go, that's pretty much enough. Just enough solder left on that to pin that in place. Now we'll bring some pressure in with the flux. Knocks out the old. There we go. So that's 5 out of 16, so almost a third. Well, it pretty much is. Again, just heat both pins, bring the solder in, let it flow. Let it flow, let it flow. We should make a soldering song. And we'll carry on around the board like that, so I'll be back in a mo. Right, I've had to plug my camera in because the battery died, so let's take that big light off. I've completed that ring. Let's get a bit, there we go. Let's turn it over. So this is the second of the 2 templates. There won't be a lot of difference between them apart from possibly the size, so no, they're pretty similar anyway. So that's 1 and 2. Probably a bit more gap between some of these, but apart from that, so let's not mix them up. 1 and 2. So on the next one we basically go in a level on each frame. So following the guide, you'll get basically jump in, jump in, jump in, jump in, jump in, and that's how the rings get smaller and smaller by using the inner circles, and even this little one in here. So, and obviously you've got a centre dot in each one for the final piece, but yeah, that's basically how you go about constructing the rings. When we get down to the smaller ones, I may do another video just cutting down or using the shorter length LEDs that are left over anyway. I'll do an actual build video of the PCB and the tower itself is separately, and I'll add this to the end of it, so if you've already seen this you can just click out or whatever. Okay, so level 3 or template number 3 is the second inner circle of the big template, the one with the little notches off the corners. Okay, so here's a pretty good tip for your soldering. On little jobs like this, sometimes it's easier to put some solder paste on. Need to get my extractor pan. And just solder paste. And you can see we've got the connection, and these have all been solder pasted as well. All these going around here. So it does make this job a heck of a lot easier. So we'll do the necklaces so a lot. Right, so positive leg down, we want to snip it short, not too short. And we're going for that second hole in, bit of solder paste, bring in the soldering iron, and job done. Right, let's put some paste on this last one. So this is level 3. Level 3 is the second layer in on the, what they're calling the big stencil. I'm calling it the template. And that's layer number 3 complete. So there we are. Zoom out. There we are. So that's layer number 3. So template number 4 is the second layer in on the smaller of the 2 templates, or ring number 4 rather. So again, we're not going to solder those 2 down yet, we'll just leave them like that. I need to test and bend some more. So we're almost done on the second ring. There we have ring number 4. Is the second inner of the smaller template. So ring number 5 is the third inner on the large one. So this template again. So just bend the leads over, positives remember, cut half off, sit that over. So the first 3 or 4 I put on just loose before I start soldering my way round and back. So I'll crack on with these. So I've got the 5th one in line. I'm just going to poke this one back into its rough position. I've got solder paste in place. So just give that some heat. Right, so here we are. We're just connecting the last ones together now. So we'll swing this one round. Get it up over there. Actually take a bit off that one. There we go. So we'll get the solder paste in. Heat the solder paste, which has already got the flux in it. That's why it makes this whole job easier than trying to solder it in. And now we just heat a little dab of that one as well. Solder that one on. And that's ring number 5 done. There we go. So they're getting smaller. So this is level 6, which is the third ring in on the smaller template. So there we go, getting smaller and smaller. So not many more to go. So that's level or template number 7, the inner ring number 4 of the larger template. So there we go, getting smaller and smaller. Right, so I've marked both of the boards with A and B, but I did them back to front. So B should have been A should have been B. Never mind. So board A is 2468. As you can see, I've started layer number 8, which is the 4th one in, or the last one in. So on this one you're cutting those leads really short, and I've cut some there, and they want cutting back a wee bit more, so which are going from that sort of length. So I have got these shorter ones which I bought in after I stole a load from this project, so I might actually go around the rest of it with those, but just bearing in mind if we're using those that we've got less distance between let's get one of these out next to it. We've got less distance between the rows because obviously we're soldering off that negative leg. So bear that in mind. I might use those for the smaller top circles. So board B is 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9 because it's got 5 holes. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and then we'll be using multiples of or variants of this middle one. So this is 2, 4, 6, 8, and there may be other layers coming back down again that we put through it. But whatever happens, we are going to be using virtually every single one of these LEDs up. There's still a bunch in the bag there. And cracking on. So that's level number 8. I've not started soldering yet, but I could actually start soldering now if I wanted to on this one. And then solder back round. But you don't want to solder the first 2 in until you get the last LED in, because it gives you the wiggle room to get them all lined up. So let's crack on. So there we have it. That's ring number 8, or inner ring 4 on the small board, or board A as I've got it. It should be B, but there you go. So we're getting there. So the 9th template will be the 5th inner ring of these. So basically you'll be going around here like so. So I'm going to use some of these shorter ones for this level. It does mean that the distance between the layers will be lessened because of the shorter leads, but it will use some of these up on this last inner circuit. Okay, so there's layer number 9, which is the innermost of the 5 rings there, and the good news is you need another 2. So you actually want 3 number 9s, and you want 2 numbers 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So as the tower grows and shrinks, it then re-expands. So you've basically got one half a tower pinned on top of another half a tower. So you've got 1 to 9, 9, 9 to, I think it goes down to 4, and then we use the inner circle to make the spire. So I'm going to crack on and duplicate the ones needed, and then we'll crack on with the rest of them. So that's layer number 10, which is the inner circle. So there's one of our number 11 templates. As you can see, you can cut pretty much 2 of the legs really short and just solder them to the 3rd. So we need another one of those, I think. That's our 3 layers of 9, 1 tall, 2 short. So that's the second 4th layer. Okay, so here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and then it's 10, 11, 11 plus a single one for the spire point. So that's all of our rings made up. So that's it for this video. In the next video we will do the building of the rings and the entire kit itself. There's no point just doing a video on the building of the rings, because that pretty much goes with the building of the kit anyway. So that's them all there, look. So thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and look out for the final video of this series, actually building the Guangzhou tower itself. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and keep an eye out for the next part of the build guide.